The moment the front door clicked open, my heart jumped, not with love, but with fear, because I was standing far too close to someone who was not my husband, and destiny had chosen that exact second to walk him back into our lives. I still remember how the afternoon light fell across the living room, warm and golden, as if it didn't know it was about to witness the ugliest truth of my life. My phone buzzed once on the table, my hands were shaking, and the neighbor, someone I had sworn was just a friend, was standing near me, close enough that the air felt heavy. I was supposed to be alone. My husband wasn't due home for hours. He had gone to work with tired eyes and quiet hope, chasing a promotion he had waited years for. And yet, there I was, moments away from losing everything. My husband came in smiling. A real smile, the kind I hadn't seen in months. He held up a small paper bag from the bakery down the street, laughing softly as he said, "I've got good news." His voice was full of pride, like a child bringing home a trophy. I didn't hear the rest of his words at first. All I could hear was the blood rushing in my ears and the sound of my own heartbeat betraying me. Then he saw us. Time didn't stop, it stretched. His smile faded slowly, painfully, like someone erasing joy with trembling hands. His eyes moved from my face to the neighbor's, then back to mine, searching for logic, for an explanation that could save him from the truth his instincts already understood. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. No excuse is ever fast enough in moments like that. The neighbor spoke first, stumbling over words, insisting it wasn't what it looked like. That sentence, so small, so meaningless, hit the room like an insult. My husband didn't shout. That hurt more. He just placed the bag on the table, the joy inside it suddenly useless, and asked me one quiet question that shattered me more than any scream could have. How long? I wish I could say I lied. I wish I could say I protected him from the full truth. But something about the way his shoulders dropped told me lies would only kill him slower. So I told him, not every detail, but enough. Enough to destroy the image he had carried of me for years. He sat down, covering his face with his hands, and for the first time since I had known him, he cried. Not loudly, just silent tears slipping through his fingers. In that moment, I realized betrayal doesn't just break trust, it rewrites memories. Every late night, every argument, every moment he had doubted himself suddenly made sense to him, and that realization hurt more than the act itself. He asked the neighbor to leave. The door closed again, but this time it sounded final, like the end of something sacred. The room felt empty even though we were both still there. I tried to touch him. He pulled away, not in anger, but in self-defense, as if my touch had become something sharp. That night, he slept on the couch. I lay awake in our bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every choice that had led me here. I told myself stories for months, stories about loneliness, about feeling unseen, about needing comfort. But lying there in the dark, none of those excuses survived. All I could see was the man who had walked in with good news, ready to share his happiness with me, only to have it crushed in seconds. Morning didn't bring relief, it brought consequences. He spoke very little over the next few days, but his silence was louder than any argument. He still went to work. He still paid the bills. He still asked if I had eaten. And that kindness, that undeserved decency, was unbearable. Because anger would have been easier to survive than disappointment. Weeks passed. The neighbor moved away, or maybe avoided us. I didn't ask. I cut every connection without being told to. Not because I wanted forgiveness, but because I finally understood the weight of what I had almost thrown away. One evening, my husband sat across from me and said something I didn't expect. I don't know if I can forgive you, but I know I don't want to live in hate. That sentence became the turning point. We didn't heal overnight. Trust doesn't return because someone says sorry. It returns slowly, painfully, through honesty, through therapy, through uncomfortable conversations that dig into wounds instead of covering them. Some days, he looked at me like a stranger. Some days, he saw the woman he married. And I learned to accept both, because I had created that distance. What saved us wasn't pretending the betrayal didn't happen. It was facing it fully. He learned that my mistake was not his failure. I learned that love is not proven in comfort, but in commitment, especially when things get hard. There were nights we cried together, not as husband and wife trying to be perfect, but as two broken people trying to choose each other again. Today, our relationship is different. Not innocent, not naive, but honest, strong in a quieter way. The good news he brought home that day eventually led to a better job, a new beginning, and a reminder that life can rebuild even after devastation. But the lesson remains etched into my heart forever. If you're listening to this and you've been hurt, know this: betrayal says more about the person who commits it than the one who suffers from it. And if you're standing at the edge of a bad decision, remember, one moment of weakness can undo years of love, but one moment of truth can also begin healing. Because sometimes the most shocking endings don't destroy us, they wake us up.